Some people like things simple. They're not complicated. They're untroubled by all the machinations of what goes on underneath the surface. Heck, they're a simple person living simple lives. Black and white, that's for them. But not you. You, my friend. You want to know the underwork, the inner pinnings. That's right, those are both real phrases I just made up. And that's why you show up to get the real work behind the scenes at Office Hours. Office Hours, of course, is our everyday check-in across all 5 fandoms. We're talking about 1.7 million people over at Mountain Rogue, 2 million people over at Scam School. We've got folks at twitch.tv/Night Attack, the hardcores, the Diamond Club, the elites, the real ones who show up with their time, energy, and effort. And of course, we go, I guess also the Mosh Pit over at X.com and the fine folks that we're undercover with over at LinkedIn. Just LinkedIn. LinkedIn, by robots for robots. Featuring humans, ? Today, we continue our trek down memory lane of Scam School episode 63. Scam School, of course, was the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Scam School is where we keep the legend alive, making it the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. As always, we're going to show you guys the entirety of this particular episode, and then I will reveal the inner workings, the real behind-the-scenes rocket sauce, as we find out all the secrets behind this Scam Your Way Into Anything lecture. Here we go. Oh, no. There it is.
This episode, you're going to learn how to scam your way into anything. Anything. If you've ever wondered about the science that makes scamming possible, this is the episode for you. This episode of Scam School has 2 mommies, GoDaddy and Netflix. Welcome to the show that never lets you drink alone. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and today we begin a special 2-part episode where I bring you my entire panel from South by Southwest, titled Social Engineering, Scam Your Way Into Anything or From Anybody. All right, you guys ready to get this thing started? Exactly 4 people seem to give a damn. Let's try that again. Are you guys ready to get this started? There you go. All right, guys, some of you noticed that the final experiment we're going to do this evening relies on me sending out a Twitter to you guys and keeping some information secret from the folks up here on stage. So if you don't have a device that will allow you to follow Shwood, S-H-W-O-O-D, on Twitter, then I respectfully ask what the hell you're doing in South by Southwest Interactive. All right, guys, the show is called Social Engineering, Scam Your Way Into Anything or From Anyone. My name is Brian Brushwood. I host a little show on the internet called Scam School. We call it the show about social engineering at the bar and on the street. We mainly use our powers for evil, usually to score free drinks at the bar. And it occurs to me some of you guys may not be familiar with the show. And in case that's the case, I actually have a little 90-second teaser here, and then we'll get things started. Check this out. Lateral force. But for some reason, this is just a weird, quirky thing. For some reason, if you stick a quarter to your forehead like this, right? If you stick a quarter to your forehead like this, and you hit your head on the table, it will not fall off like that, right? I mean, it actually takes, usually, I've never been able to do it in fewer than 3 hits. It's not till the 4th time that it actually will come off, right? And in fact, I will actually bet you, I'll buy your drinks for the rest of the night. If you're able to get the quarter to fall off in less than 3 hits. I'll show you. So here's what you're going to do. You want to set your drink off to the side, actually, and then and scoot on in. I'll actually stick it on. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then we'll just go ahead. We'll stick that on. All right, you got it? Go for it. Go for it.
In less than 3.
In less than 3. Go.
Keep going. You're almost there. It's getting loose. You're doing good. Keep going. Right? And you can't get it. Keep going. You can get it. You get it. No. You just gotta go a little bit harder. If you angle it down more towards, you're gonna hit the downward force. I've lost memories. I don't remember math anymore.
If you put your fingernails over the edge of the coin and push against it, it feels like it's still there when it goes off. But, sorry. All right, guys, so that's Scam School. Now, what we're going to talk about today, keep in mind, the purpose of this presentation is not to teach you guys actual crime. The idea is to alert you to the forms of social manipulation that can be used against you. We're educating for protection here. However, in the interest of keeping everything running as smoothly as possible and keeping the show as interesting as possible, I'm going to teach the show as though I was teaching you crime. But we're not teaching you crime. We don't endorse crime. All right, here's how to commit crime. All right. The dictionary defines social engineering as the practical application of sociological principles to particular social problems. I would restate that simply as using cheap, dirty psychological tricks to get people to do what you want. And to get things started here, now over the course of the next hour, you're going to learn about things called fixed action patterns. We're going to talk about 3 psychological backdoors that you can use to manipulate people and how to use those to accomplish certain tasks. And finally, to get things started, keep in mind here that my qualifications, I'm just an idiot who eats fire for a living, all right? I was lucky enough to have a show on the internet. If I start to sound vaguely scientific, it's only because I'm quoting people a million times smarter than me. If you want the information on what studies I'm referring to, I'll be happy to give you that after the show, but I figure we wouldn't bog down this presentation with that kind of talk. So we're going to start off here with a demonstration of what looks like ESP. This is not going to be ESP. This is a demonstration using psychological manipulation, verbal duplicity, and outright deception in order to achieve a specific outcome. I'll explain what we mean in a minute. But first, we're going to do an experiment in ESP, so I need to come out and I need to find 2 individuals who strike me as being exceptionally psychic. So I'm coming out, I'm feeling for psychic vibrations. Let's take a quick break and thank the people who make today's show possible. What's a domain smack? Well, in short, domains are so ridiculously cheap through our sponsor at GoDaddy.com that you can register an insulting, demeaning domain and put it to your friend's website just for the hell of it for less than the amount of money that's in your couch cushions right now. Take one of your friends who's a little bit proud of his sexual prowess, register the domain loservirgin.com and put it to his MySpace. Don't like this show? Register the domain worstshowontheinternet.com and put it to Scam School. Or if you're rather proud of your own performance, register the domain, I don't know, damnimgoodlooking.com and put it to your page. Whatever it is, be creative, be outrageous, be witty, but just make sure to send us the links at brian@revision3.com. We'll collect the winners and create a Hall of Fame at domainsmack.com. Now don't forget, to get the best price and free forwarding to whatever site you want, make sure to use that code SCAM3. That does 2 things. It gets you the good price, and more importantly, it keeps me in business. There we go, perfect. I'm coming around, I'm feeling for psychic vibrations. I'm getting some very powerful emanations like a force bubble of energy coming from, yes, you, sir. What is your name? Mike. Mike, let's hear for Mike as he heads up there on stage. Let me find a friend for Mike, feeling some powerful mojo from, I think it's got to be, yes, you, sir. What is your name? Chris. Chris, let's hear for Chris and Mike. They're going to be our 2 psychics. That means clap. All right, now here's what we're going to do. Let me get you or Chris, right? Mike on this side and Chris over here on this side. Now, before we get started, I want to know, going into this, would you consider yourself a believer or a non-believer in ESP, second sight, psychic phenomenon? Mike?
A non-believer.
A non-believer, a skeptic. And Chris?
Also non-believer.
Non-believer, which means for my ESP experiment, I managed to pick the 2 bastards who don't believe in ESP. This will be very interesting. What we're going to try to do is establish a psychic connection between you guys, which means we need to designate a psychic thought sender and a psychic thought receiver. If you don't mind, Mike, you're going to be the psychic thought sender. Chris, you're going to be the psychic thought receiver. Sound good so far? Now, to make sure there's no way for you to cheat and use your traditional 5 senses, before we go too far, we're going to cut you off from the outside world. And I do need to know, Chris, are you, I do need to know, Chris, are you claustrophobic at all? No. Good, because I'm about to put you inside this really big blindfold, so I'm going to get a little faced out when I do that. I want you to face towards your audience, and I'm going to put you, boy, you're a big one, aren't you? Here we go. All right, now, nice and loud, Chris, so everyone in the room can hear. Can you see anything?
Nope.
That's very loud there. Good job. Now, the problem with me being a magician is that some of these skeptics out there in the audience might think that that's some kind of tricky blindfold that you're able to see right through. So to satisfy those skeptics and keep everything as scientific as we can possibly make it, we're going to cut you off from the outside world, and we're going to place you, buddy, in what scientists refer to as an isolation booth, all right? We're just going to cut you off from the outside world. Don't worry, nothing hurts. All right, now, while you're in the isolation booth, it's very important, Chris, that you do not speak, but you can nod your head yes or no. Do you understand? Excellent. If everything goes according to plan, you should receive some kind of psychic image. Until then, don't worry about what I'm saying to Mike. You just wait to receive your psychic image. Now, Mike, in just a moment, let's keep that volume turned up on that. In just a moment, you're gonna receive some kind of psychic image. Until then, don't worry about what I'm saying over here. Your job is you're gonna project a psychic image, right? Now, if you were to go with whatever image popped in your mind first, you would have what scientists call a psychological predisposition to choose common objects like a house, stick figure, a smiley face, those kinds of things. To help you come up with a unique image that nobody could have predicted, I've written upon these cards some general themes that you're going to use as inspiration when selecting your psychic image. Make sense?
Yep.
Good. So what I want you to do is reach forward with your right hand, touch the back of any one card. There you go. I'll put that one on top. Now keep in mind, Mike, any one of these folks in the audience could be a spy working for Chris. So make sure you're the only one who sees the card. Don't let me see it. Don't let the audience see it. Once you've read it, put it right back where you found it. Now, when you read that card, did a picture pop into your mind?
Yes.
Good. Whatever that image is, I want you to draw a simple version of it using this magic marker on this piece of poster board. I'll turn it around so the audience can't see. Draw nice and big, take up that entire page, and project that image into Chris's mind. Start now. Chris, have you received a psychic image?
Maybe.
Remember the talking rule, Chris.
Yes.
No, you are not allowed to talk. That's the talking rules. You have to not. Hey, there we go. Excellent. Smooth like silk. Here's what I'm going to do here, Chris. I'm going to put this poster board right here in front of you, buddy. I want you to find the edges with both of your hands. I'm going to put this marker in your right hand. I want you to take the cap off of that marker, and I want you to draw nice and big whatever image came to you, no matter how strange it may have seemed. Go ahead and start now. And are you finished over here? Let me get you, whatever you do, buddy, don't stop projecting that psychic image. Hand that marker on over here to me and keep projecting as we all wait very, very patiently. Oh, how cute. He's trying to recap. Sorry about your fingers, Chris. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what psychic image, but God damn it. What popped in to Chris's mind. It's abstract. All right, I tell you now, Mike, obviously Chris has a blindfold on. He's got a box over his head. He has questionable artistic talents. But if this were a real ESP experiment, would you say he got it right or he got it wrong?
I'd say he got it right.
You say you got it right?
Yeah.
Let me get you a stand all the way here, right next to Chris, if you would, Mike. Nice and loud. Why don't you tell the audience what you were sending a picture of?
Christmas tree.
A Christmas tree? I would call that a match, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a huge round of applause for both my volunteers. You guys did a great job. All right, Chris. By the way, Chris,
man.
you did such a good job. This is your very own isolation booth for you to take home with you. One more time for my two psychics, guys. All right, quick show of hands here. How many people believe that we just saw incontrovertible proof of ESP? 3 jackasses. Good. I'll be happy to sell you time machines after the show. No, this is psychological manipulation. This is a routine I do in my stage show 200 times a year, and every single time, even though I've randomly picked the people from the audience, and I know reliably, 99% of the time, the two images, they're always different, but the two images always match at the end. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about, is how you can reliably get certain results out of people. Let's take a quick break and thank the people who make these scams possible.
All right, this week we continue your graduate course in deception and chicanery through the use of Netflix. I want you to check out The Prestige from 2006. This movie blew me away. It's a puzzle movie, a con movie. It's a movie about tricks and misdirection, starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale as two rival magicians. The movie's about the lengths these magicians go to try to outshine each other. This movie will have you on the edge of your seat all the way until the killer freaking ending, and you'll get to learn how some classic magic tricks are done along the way. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for Netflix, make sure to go to www.netflix.com/scamschool. The wwws at the beginning are just as important as the scam school at the end to make sure we get credit for the sale. You guys are going to love it, and you're going to be keeping Scam School in business.
And the thing we're going to use, the first thing we're going to do is talk about fixed action patterns. These are regular, blindly mechanical patterns of action. When we think of these, we think of stimulus response, which we see, for example, in mating rituals of animals of all varieties. And Moving forward though, one of the interesting things, there's some studies done with the wild turkey. Wild turkey is a very smart bird. It's smart enough to know an enemy from a friend, smart enough to know how to defend itself, but it doesn't rely on any of its intelligence or its perception. It uses one fixed action pattern when it comes to taking care of its young. What it does is it listens for a very particular sound that the young make, a particular cheep cheep that baby turkeys do. The moment it hears that, it triggers a mechanism that causes it to want to nurture and protect these young. Now, the science here is that they've done experiments where they take a stuffed polecat, the natural predator of the turkey, come dragging it up in front of the turkey. First thing the turkey does is try to kick its ass. But then they play inside of a tape recorder deep inside of the polecat, and it plays that bird chirping sound, and the turkey immediately starts loving and protecting it. Now, the first thing when people hear this, they're like, okay, well, that's animals, right? Animals are dumb, people are smart, we're reasoning, thinking beings. Ha! It turns out that study after study has shown the opposite. The most famous of these, a Harvard study, wanted to know if it was possible that when you offer a reason for something, it increases the likelihood that somebody will grant you a favor. So the way they did this was they got a bunch of people who happened to be waiting in line for a Xerox machine. They sent in somebody undercover to try to cut in line and be first. Sometimes she would walk up and say, "Excuse me, I've got 5 pages. Can I use the Xerox machine?" And when she did, 40% of the people were like, "Hey, bug off, lady." But 60% of them were like, "Fine, go for it." But by the way, 60% success just for asking with no legitimate reason. I think there's a lesson right there. You could get a lot of things just by asking, saying, "Gimme." But then they sent her in another time saying, "Excuse me, I've got 5 pages. Can I use the Xerox machine because I'm in a rush?" So she offered an explanation. When she offered an explanation, it jumped to 94% success rate. Now, when you watch this, though, the thing that people think is, oh yeah, she offered a rational reason, people thought about the reason, they decided it was a good idea, and they let her do it. Turns out that's not the case, because they tried a whole bunch of different trials, and they figured out that the magic word was because. As long as she said the word because, it was always 94% success. For example, she might go up and say, "Excuse me, I've got 5 pages. Can I use the Xerox machine? Because I've got 5 pages." Which of course is no explanation at all. 94% success. Right? So what's going on here? Let's do this. We're going to talk about the first of these 3 fixed action patterns. This is the least surprising to you guys. It's the most obvious. I think we're all aware that it's very hard to say no to somebody who we like a lot. But that is the first FAP we're going to talk about, is liking. And some, you can rely on your natural charm. There are ways to use particular tricks to cause people to like you. The oldest book is still the best, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Lots of little nuggets, like make sure to say their name repeatedly, ask questions about them. People like to think and talk about themselves. If you do that kind of stuff, you're going to get people to like you. But the most important question is, what can I do with this? So I'm going to tell you I'm not going to say foolproof, but my very good method to get out of speeding tickets using only the liking fixed action pattern. Now, I don't drive badly, but I do drive a lot. When you're on the road 200 days out of the year, sooner or later you get pulled over, and I will say that the following has worked 14 out of the last 16 times. First thing, when you get pulled over, you gotta relax. It's just a ticket. If you get nervous or upset, you have that adrenaline rush, it's gonna cause your fingers to tremble, and that's gonna be bad news. They're gonna give you a ticket. Second of all, no crying. No, that's all they hear all day. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, my husband will beat me if I have another ticket. You don't wanna do that. My personal game is the moment I get pulled over, I've got 3 minutes to make them laugh. There's never been one time I've made the police officer laugh and he has still given me a ticket. So the first thing I do, kind of self-working, this first part, 80% of the time it works for me. The moment they ask me for my ID, for my driver's license, I pause and I say, "Well, officer, I gotta warn you. I'm gonna give it to you, but the picture looks nothing like me." And then I hand them one of these. Most of the time they laugh and let me go right there. But sometimes you got to go a little bit farther, and then they want the paperwork and stuff. They'll say, "Well, where's your insurance?" And I say, "Well, officer, this is a rental car. I don't have my insurance on me, but I'm told this will help." And if he makes a face, I'll roll with it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I figured this wouldn't be valid in this state, so I also brought the community. This one, okay." That's about as much as you could do. And this breaks their pattern, because the pattern they have is they pull someone over, they're terrified, they issue them a ticket, and then they go off their way. You want to break that pattern and get in on the liking FAP. Works most of the time. Second, fix, oh, by the way, how many of you guys are familiar with Brett Rounceville, the Amtrekker? Any of you guys know this guy? This guy's been, yeah, one guy clapping. That's wonderful. That's He travels all over the United States. He calls himself an unemployed vagrant, and he gets himself into a lot of sticky situations. And he had the best quote to summarize this. He says, I know that if I was their friend, there's no chance they'd give me a ticket. So the moment I'm pulled over, I figure I've got 3 minutes to become their friend. Now, he does it by being naturally charming and likable. I do it by cheesy sight gags. So moving forward, second psychological backdoor, reciprocation. It's very difficult to say no to somebody who gives you something for free. And there's a study that proved exactly this. Cornell professor Dennis Regan did an experiment that was a fake art appreciation experiment. 2 testers. One guy was a real guy, one guy was a fake guy. Mr. Real Guy and Mr. Fake Guy spent a few hours evaluating art, saying what they thought about it, and about midway through the day, Mr. Fake Tester runs off and comes back later. If he came back one of 2 ways. Either he came back with nothing, or he came back bearing 2 gifts, bottles of Coke. He'd say, you know what, I was on my way to the can, saw there was a Diet Coke machine, figured I'd pick one up for myself, and I was like, what the heck, I'll get one for you as well. And then they went back to evaluating the art. At the end of the day, Mr. Fake Tester snuck something in. He said, oh, by the way, I'm doing this raffle thing, and if I sell enough raffle tickets, there's a chance that I can win a car. So I tell you what, if you don't mind buying one, anything would help, the more the better. So he left it open to the real tester to decide how many of these raffle tickets to buy. Under reciprocation, he purchased twice as many raffle tickets as without the reciprocation. Now when you look at this from the outside, you're like, oh, of course. You already said, Brian, that when you like people, you do more stuff for them, right? So obviously he bought the Coke. It made the guy like the Coke. I mean, it liked the guy for buying him the Coke. He probably liked the Coke too. And then as a result, he bought more. But they did survey results afterwards to find out what the real tester thought of the fake one. And even if they actively disliked the fake tester, they still bought some. So reciprocation is a very powerful one, and in fact, how many of you guys have been given something by a beggar, and before you knew it, you already had it, and you felt obligated to give them some cash? Hands in the air if you've run into this. Yeah, the Krishnas are masters of this. They give a copy of the Bhagavad Gita or a flower, and then you give them $5, you throw the flower in the trash. The moment you leave, they go out and they pick the flower out of the trash, and they give it to the next guy. Here's the thing. Reciprocation, if you want to be direct by actually giving an object, a couple of things to remember. First of all, free drinks for everyone going home after South by Southwest. Yeah, that's a gift for you guys, right? Just go buy 3 bags of M&Ms when you get on the plane. Say, hey, figured you guys are hungry. Got one of these for each of you. Ding, ding, ding. Now, the odds of all 3 of these guys being selfish enough not to hook you up with a free drink are very, very low. But if it does happen, don't come crying to me. Some people take it a step farther with a gift basket. They give to the gate agent trying to get a first class upgrade. If you do this, remember not to treat it as a bribe. People react very differently when they think they're being involved in a bribe. What you want to do is make it clear it's a gift. Give what magicians call time delay between you giving the gift and you asking for a favor, and you'll get the most success. But what's funny is I don't even do reciprocation this way. I don't give anything away physically. I guess I do sometimes, but for the most part I don't. What I do, I found that pretty much all of using the reciprocation fixed action pattern and the liking fixed action pattern is pretty much what everything we teach in Scam School is all about. 2 things. When you give a performance, you break up people's day, you give them something of value, and more importantly, you spend time with them and allow yourself an opportunity to build up rapport and work on the liking FAP as well. So we're going to talk about, there's 3 different types of tricks that we teach on Scam School. We've got openers, we've got tweeners, and we've got payoffs. Let me explain them, and I'm going to illustrate each of these.
So next week, we'll be back with the second half of the presentation. Until then, let me know what you think. You can write me directly at brian@revision3.com. Or better yet, join us in the discussion forums at revision3.com/scamschool. And of course, as always, you can follow my adventures at twitter.com/schwood. Until then, I think there's a party or 2 around here we got to get.
That was a quick switch flip of an ending. Like all of a sudden it was like, Anyway, see you next time. There we go. Hey, there we are. That was the very first time I ducked out and did a smoke break during one of these. I'm like an AM DJ in the 1970s. In this case, I knew this content so well. I knew it was 22 minutes long. And then when the phone rang, it was Andrew Heaton, by the way, who will be joining us at the Founders Day picnic this upcoming Saturday, April 11th.
Only show dedicated to social engineering.
Here we go. April 11th, we're going to be doing that. It's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah. We got to get those spells turned on. Good points. Good points, team. Hold on. Spells are active in 3, 2, 1. Oh, here we go. Active. They're all active. Great. Let me kill these. Kill that. Kill that. And kill that. Great. So Andrew Heaton will be joining us on Saturday. If you haven't heard, if you're in the Austin area, we are going to just hang out, play Skull, and then we're going to go watch Jomo and the Possum Posse, who are doing a live free show in Driftwood. So it'll be awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Adam. That's on me. I couldn't wrangle cats enough to do a show. So instead what we have is it's just a hang. I don't know if it's worth getting on a plane just to hang. Maybe that's fine. You know what? Maybe it is worth it. Maybe we'll do another event. I'll tell you, if you want to do a thing that's worth getting on a plane to do, I guess I got a couple of sponsor messages I could tell you about. This upcoming, if you go to Wizard Academy is a super dope 501c3 business class where you stay on campus. You can bring your loved one with you. You get all your meals catered. It's a retreat. And you're going to spend 2 days with me and Justin and Andrew Heaton and Tom Merritt. It is expensive. If you need a discount, if price is expensive, then hit me up for a discount. You know my email. It's brian@schroed.com. But the important part is it's going to be the complete Do Your Weird Thing class. If you want to come out to that. Other than that, we should do some other event. Some other thing. But that place is haunted. Haunted by awesome. Let's see. We will get one of the greatest bands in the area. Yeah, okay. James Colbot missed the whole dang thing. That's funny. Yeah, there. Of course, you'll get to see. In fact, I am a level 1 sommelier, so I am permitted to pour from the hallowed whiskey vault. That alone is going to be worth the trip. So let's talk about this game-changing event, this show. This was originally supposed to just be a panel discussion but I learned an extremely important lesson during this. Revision 3 submitted panels to all of South by Southwest. They did not consult any of the talent. They simply looked at what is the show like, and they wrote what an awesome panel would be with it. So when they came up with the idea how to scam your way into anything, and then they wrote in this amazing panel, Brian Brushwood will teach you all the tricks of how to get into backstage at concerts, this, that, the other. Then they're like, congrats, you got a panel. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can get other people. I actually reached out to Robert Cialdini's camp, and what word got back to me is, what you're describing is the exact opposite of everything that Influence was about. I'm like, well, yes, there's a nested layer of ironic stuff, but we're still teaching the stuff. And they were not interested, or I think they wanted to get paid or something. So at some point it became clear that I just had to give this talk. And then it became clear that people were excited about it. And then I got word of how big the room was going to be. And so in the week beforehand, I had this vision. Now, unlike almost every other bit of Brian performing on stage material that you've seen, all of that is battle-tested, hardened material that evolves over time to where it's fully instinctual. We've talked a bit about the importance of System 1 education and doing the reps. I had done none of the reps on this. I simply made it. I delivered it a couple times to myself in my office, and that was it. And then I got on stage to a standing room only, more than standing room only. If you look at this, there are people seated. Look at this moment where I go walking out in the audience here. Here we go. When I go walking out in the audience, you can see people seated in a fire code violation all the way in the back. People are seated in there. It was probably 700, 800 people for my debut performance of this. And ironically, just as that performance at Stubbs Barbecue was one of the definitive Brian Brushwood Bizarre Magic shows that I ever did, this ended up being the definitive lecture that I did, because out of this came, you'll notice giant chunks of it show up in the TED Talks that I do, both the one in San Antonio and the one in, Massachusetts. I forget where in Massachusetts. But yeah, this is what evolved into that first conference speaking opportunity. Oh my God, Jamar Johnson is here. Jamar, it's so good to see you, man. By the way, Jamar, this Saturday, if you want to come on out, we're going to hang out. We're going to play some Skull. A few fans will be there. The incredibly talented Andrew Heaton is coming by. My comedy co-host, Justin Robert Young, will be around. And then we're going to go see Jomo and the Possum Posse play. It'll be great. I've not lectured at Blackpool, but I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Brian@shwood.com. You guys just reach out to me on that. I did do one for Google. That one was sparsely attended, and also I was trying on a counterintuitive angle on it. That one ended up half-baked. I'll have to see if I can find that one somewhere. There's some good ideas in it that I need to get to. Oh, yeah, we explained the openers, tweeners, and payoffs. That would eventually be the thinking that would lead to the whole story attention sales cycle that I developed for independent creators. But this one, a bit clumsy working in the magic, but at least I got decent video of Simpatico in there. Simpatico is a really good trick. It's a dual reality thing if you speak magician talk. That routine is for sale. If you're a magician who wants to do that routine, you can reach out to me, and it's pretty cheap. It's a good 8-minute routine that you can do. And then we get into the book report part, where I'm essentially just reporting on observations on Robert Cialdini's influence, which itself was a book report on other people's studies. So at some point, all of these nested legends and cited studies go through everything. Although I guess, Jamar, you were there for the more recent performance of that because you came out to the Do Your Weird Thing class. I hear really good things about Blackpool. Everyone, it's funny you say that, Princess Judith. It is a house of cards. That's eventually where we land in this very lecture. Do I have any thoughts on Anthropic's Our AI is Too Scary to Release announcement? I think that a lot of the stuff that Anthropic has done, how can I put it? I think, I'll only speak from a branding perspective. Anthropic is crushing it in the branding space. I don't know if their product is superior. I don't know. I know that they were third place, to put it generously, in the public's mind in AI positioning, but they've been able to code themselves, pardon the pun, in a more warm, fuzzy, blue state friendly, Apple adjacent, we care about humans way. I mean, their name is Anthropic in there. during the Super Bowl, they did their preemptive attack ad against ChatGPT, talking about ads are coming, but not to Anthropic. And this feels like they got a ton of free publicity when they made a big stink about U.S. government don't use our stuff for X, Y, and Z. That felt akin to when Apple refused to hack their own device to help solve a case for the FBI. And that this feels like more of the same. Now, on top of this, unlike the previous ones, I couldn't directly point to whether or not they were in good faith or not, but by all accounts, this is a strongly pro-social move because it really does look like this thing is wicked good at finding exploits. And it does seem like it was a looming PR disaster if they were to just release it and let a bunch of people zero-day exploit all over the place. So what they're doing by holding this back, and yes, we can roll our eyes at the bloviating, our stuff is too scary stuff, but ultimately, in order for everybody to get their hands on it, now all of these institutions have to come to Anthropic's house and follow Anthropic's rules, which means they're spending more time with Anthropic, which is only going to deepen that affinity for it. And then meanwhile, everybody who's sending an ambassador to Anthropic land, they're going to find all of these open exploits and bugs. They're going to go back and feel like superstars when they explain to their own entities what they found because of it. I think it's a very savvy move. Whether or not it was necessary, no idea. Whether or not it ultimately will save the day, don't know. But I do know that Branding Brian Brain strongly thinks that they pulled a very, very smart move on that one. Imagine Ford had a press conference to say they had a new Mustang might be too dangerous to sell the public. Marketing. Yeah, and that's ultimately the lens through which I view it. Oh, that's great. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I need to get more of those replays. Jamar, if you like, we're doing it again at Wizard Academy. Send me a text and let's see if you want to be around for that, because I bet you would have a lot to provide, and if you were there to help give the class, then that would be great. Oh yeah, it is time for doodles. What up, dudes? Let's see. Hold on. Oh wait, I don't know why I put that on. Let me do this. Yeah. Nicely done. Whoops. Wait a minute. Here, by the way, if you guys, the game plan on all this is I set up the whiteboard just before the show, and then I post it in the chat. If you're new here, yeah, there's always new people here, so we'll explain it to the new people. You guys, check my work on this. In general, show breaks down like this. 1 hour beforehand, I schedule the live stream, and then I get everything else ready. Around 5-10 minutes before the show, I post in the chat a doodle to the whiteboard so y'all can start filling this stuff up with ideas, content, and riffs. And then we start in the first 90 seconds, because remember, the vast majority of everyone who sees this is watching after the fact when it's a VOD. So I try to immediately get straight to the core content. So at the very least, if you're transactional, if you don't really know or care what's happening live, then at least you're delivering on that. And then after this, we get to the behind the scenes. Now, this one's a little bit different because a lot of this is already familiar to everybody who's been watching. But then we move into the present tense stuff where we talk about projects and interesting things that are happening. For example, the class that's coming up and so much more. Oh, that'd be great. Jamar, we gotta get you over here, man. I know you're all the way up in Dallas, practically, which means north of 183. You're north of 183. You're all the way up there. How many spikes go on the hangman's head if you're playing hangman with Brian's as the man to be hanged? We'll see. All right, so now we're going to play our favorite game. This episode, part of the big drop in September 2019. How many views do we think this episode got? This is the original, and I know that pieces of it that I performed elsewhere have gone on to millions of views here and there. How many views do we think it got in the original release? Princess Judith says 52,000. Marion G says 11.2 thousand. Not Scary Steve says lecture, possibly going to be a low one, 3.8 thousand. James Colbot says 60,000. Tweetbex does the $1 bid, says 12. Flying Car 100, 6,795. Argyle Gargoyle with the tongue twisters, 22,000. Oh yeah, it's Adam, only 4,000. G James B, 80,000. And that's it. That's your time. Hopefully you guys have it all locked in. There we go. It is 47,000 views. So who was closest? Princess Judith with 52,000? Yeah, that's good. Oh, Hair One H1 said 100,000. True Man Fu with the one true number. Sixter had 68,000. Yeah, I think it goes to Princess Judith with 52,000. Congratulations. So now, I don't know where BioCow's leaderboard is. Do you guys have that? Yeah, we'll wait for BioCow to update it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he gave me the login, but I, of course, can't grab it while I'm in the middle of doing all this stuff. But now, we continue forward. How many? We got 33 comments. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Brian Spikes were perfectly attuned to the psychic emanations of the legendary Meow Meow, while the energy was sent from the past, endured and strengthened as it passed into his future mind. As it turns out, time machines were truer than any person had believed. Plans within plans. That's great. I love everything about this comment. This was Scam School's best episode ever. Right on. So glad you dug it. Boom. Thanks, Brian. I got pulled over yesterday for speeding. I showed the cop 2 Monopoly get out of jail free cards. He laughed, told me he wanted to go home and eat dinner with his wife and didn't want to waste time writing me a ticket. Thank you, dude. Awesome. Hooray for getting out of speeding tickets. Brilliant. I'm interested in psychology, and this kept me watching the very end. Wonderful. Sorry I'm late on this comment. It did for me, actually. Ad blocker plus on my Firefly with that. That's, who knows what that is. The trick with the coin on the guy. Rafflecopter. Man, I want to know how the tree's done. My guess is he already drew the picture for the guy in the isolation chamber and gave him a bad marker. That's literally what everyone would think, which is why I make sure you can see it's a blank page before it begins. And it's also a single piece of poster board. That's a really good trick. It's for sale, actually. Called Simpatico. Boom. I think if they laugh, they aren't allowed to give you a ticket. Ha. That tracks. I know, right? The tree thing still not explained. Correct. It's a way good trick, baby. At the beginning, he says, this episode has 2 mommies, and one of its mommies is GoDaddy.com. I'm glad the irony didn't escape either of us. What? What? What is going on? This is where we run into possible trouble. LOL MySpace. Let's see. Sadly, I just checked my couch cushions, and there wasn't enough to get a domain. Keep buying used couches until you find one with enough to buy a domain. Then register couches for sale.pizza and make a mint. It's easy. Infinite glitch. Ad skip. Oh, ad skips. R.I.P. It doesn't work on the ads in the video, dude. Wait, how did he do the first trick? Pretty good trick, right? Never mind. What video was the teaser vid? I don't know what that was. For some reason, Firefox ad blocker blocks video ads. Wow. Wait, are you an Austin local? Yes. Sorry, I'm late to this. Boom. Like, come on. A girl's pants? I don't know what that means. Okay, all right. The scam here is getting people to go to this dumb presentation. Which one? Engagement bait. Haha. Yeah, Magic 51. Every time I see tic-tac-toe, I think the same thing. That Ox socks. Yeah, it could be just invisible ink that reveals by the time you have to do the reveal. That works. Chat realm powers activate. Okay, so I do have a couple of updates. Let's see. One, World's Greatest Con is coming together. It's, oh, look at that. The spikes are back. That's great. World's Greatest Con, I think, might be coming out in the next few days. We're at the point where, as soon as I'm done with this, I got to re-record a bunch of lines. Second of all, I can't talk about that one, but we can talk about the book test. So you guys know that I created a very, very good book test. It's a very good trick. I announced last year that there would be a mysterious fourth Brian Brushwood book test. And unlike the other ones are done with The Shining, Da Vinci Code, and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The only way, this trick is so good that the only way it could get any better would be if nobody knew what the fourth book test is, that you didn't even know what the book was. So I did something very counterintuitive. I made it to find out what the book is, how the book test works, what you're actually going to be buying, what you're going to be getting. It's a $50 deposit. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to watch that hour-long video. You are going to unambiguously come to the conclusion this is the very best book test, and it is going to be worth the $500 it will be when they are printed. But for right now, they're not printed. And there's only like 4 days left before we're going to have final lock on the text. So in order, what I'm doing is $300 is You Believe in Brian. This is the best book test. If you're familiar with the other ones, you're going to understand why this one is just as good. It has the advantage of nobody knowing what it is. I will announce that we're going to print, then the price goes to $400, and then once it's printed, the price will be $500. So if you want to dip a toe, if you want to know what's up, at the very least, for $50, you'll get an hour-long show completely revealing how this trick works, and it will be worth $50. You're going to love it. Now, that $50 you can apply to actually buying the fourth book test. Or you can rip me off and make your own, in which case, good luck. That's a lot of work. But, Kurometariku, I am at the tail end of an astonishing year-long journey where 3 full times I've had to restart from scratch because I've tried so many different ways. A half dozen people have inherited parts of this project over time, but it is going to be great. Good morning, your friend Jake. Good to see ya. Oh, Magic 51 was the closest. Let the record stand, 42.2. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah. James Cobalt, don't worry about it. At some point in the future, you'll be flush. Then you'll want to buy it. Just make a mental note. Cliff Horn is asking about the latest on the zine. Yeah, that ball is in Ryer's court. We gotta sit down and bang out the text on it. Yeah, ask me tomorrow on that one, Cliff. Well, I'll have something more for you on that. Okay, and then finally, the last note that I had on my agenda of to-dids was the call for proposals. The security stuff is ready to book, and as a result, now I got to get booked for a bunch of other conferences. So if you guys know of any cybersecurity conferences where I should be giving my presentation that will share a lot of the DNA from this very program right here, and then the get in touch with me and put them on my radar, and then I'll put those out. I don't know what's being drawn here, except for I'm pretty sure I know exactly what's being drawn. Zeros, eyes. Thank goodness. All right, guys. I'm going to start the day. You guys go forth, kick all the asses, punch the world in the face. You guys got this. Ah, there we go. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
That's a great idea.
All right, bye, gang.